welcome to Weather Goes. It's Jason here. Today here with tracking some tropical cyclones with you. And it's the 13th of July 2025. And we have some tropical cyclones today, especially in the Western Pacific. Here you can see on the graph, Tropical Storm Nari and Tropical Depression 07W is currently active. Otherwise, other basins are quite quiet at the moment. The Southwest Indian Ocean does have one invest active in the name of 90S, which currently has a low chance of developing into a tropical cyclone into the next 48 hours. So let's look at the satellite imagery of the Western Pacific. You can see here two systems, Nari and 07W, both located in quite north latitudes. Nari being a tropical storm and 07W, which has transformed from a subtropical system into a tropical depression in the past 24 hours and is expected to possibly bring some substantial rainfall to the Korean Peninsula and Japan. On the other hand, Nari is expected to just brush off the eastern coastline of Japan and possibly bringing some strong winds and some rainfall to the region. In the North Atlantic Ocean, you can see here we have got a quiet image here of the tropical storm Chantal disappeared in last couple of days, and there hasn't been really any activity in the region. Same goes to the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Just one or two tropical waves developing off Mexico and Central America countries. In the Southwest Indian Ocean, you can see 90S there. Actually, it's kind of just a bunch of thunderstorms gathering together. Hasn't got any circulation or any well-organized center. So this system is not expected to develop into any sort of significant tropical cyclone anytime soon as well. So let's take a look at Tropical Storm Nari here. It's currently at 40 miles per hour winds and a minimum pressure of 997 millibars. Currently located at 27.6 degrees north and 143.0 degrees east. It is moving quite quick and moving northwards at a speed of 26 kilometers per hour. It is currently expected to impact Japan, as we mentioned earlier. If we take a look at the forecast, you can see in the next 24 hours, it could intensify to a mid-range tropical storm with winds of 60 miles per hour. But after that, it will soon turn into an extratropical cyclone, and then it will just brush off Japan's coastline and gradually move away from land. So this storm's main impact on Japan's eastern coast will be in the next 12 to 24 hours, and it will be a mid-range tropical storm, which means it could bring some damage, but it wouldn't be too bad in terms of the overall effects. The JTWC is also telling a similar story, is he's expecting it to intensify to around 50 knots, which is around a mid-range tropical storm, as we mentioned earlier. And then you can see the wind field expectation is also quite lopsided. Eastern side of the storm is expected to have much more tropical storm force wind. On the other hand, the western side of the storm is expected to have a minimal amount of tropical storm force wind, which is good news for Japan as Japan's located to the western side of the storm, which means most of the tropical storm force wind wouldn't really affect Japan that much, or maybe even not affecting them at all. So that is good news for the region. If you take a look at the satellite imagery, you can see this is the latest true color satellite. You see the center of the storm, the low level circulation is kind of partially isolated from the high level cloud tops due to some wind shear, we believe. But you can see some good circulation going on, some convection, mainly to the eastern side of the storm, which is where all the strong winds and strong rainfall is happening. If you look at the infrared satellite imagery, tells a similar story. You can see that main convection is blowing up to the eastern side of the storm. And the last couple of rains, there hasn't really been any new convection or flares blowing up, but in the past 12 hours, it has been similar. The storm is gradually intensifying, not at a great pace, but we can see that it is trying to get itself together. Although it is kind of traveling against wind shear, you can see currently located at wind shear around 10 knots to 20 knots, actually not as high as yesterday. So it could intensify for a bit in these 12 to 24 hours. But you can see after moving up to more northern latitude, the wind chill will begin to increase and the storm will struggle to maintain its intensity very soon. At sea surface temperature, you can see it has moved away from a high sea surface temperature where it was yesterday. Now, currently, it's in the area with temperature around 27 to 28 degrees, which is a drop from where it was yesterday, where it's at like 29 to 30 degrees. But you can see it's still favorable for some development, but after the move continues to move northwards, the sea surface temperature will continue to drop and it will be less favorable for this system to continue to maintain its intensity. On the other hand, 07W is also sitting around in the same temperature, 27-28 degrees. When it moves towards Japan and Korean Peninsula, the temperature will drop a little bit, but at that time, we're expecting it to become a extratropical cyclone already, so it really wouldn't matter that much. So here's Tropical Depression Series 7W, located between the Kyushu Island and China's eastern coast and below Jeju. Currently at 35 miles per hour and minimum pressure of 999 millibars. Currently located at 30.7 degrees north, 126.1 degrees east, moving eastwards at 24 kilometers per hour. And this system is expected to turn into an extratropical cyclone very soon, and it is not really too significant, and its damage will not be too much, just some rainfall and some occasional strong winds for the region like Kyushu Island and South Korea. Now let's look at the satellite imagery. You can see, you can just about make out where its center is. Some circulation going on and actually some decent convection blowing up near the center, but the main convection is actually blowing up outside of the center, like more far away from the center. The main high cloud tops, strong clouds developing over the region of Okinawa, North Okinawa, and the Kyushu Island, just bringing some rainfall there, possibly some slight flooding. Little bit convection blowing up the center. You can see some black grey spots, but mainly actually the rainfall and the strong convection is more towards the outside of the system. So here's the models. This is the European model, ECMWF forecast on Western Pacific. You can see expecting Nari to continue to intensify, possibly impacting Japan's eastern coast. You can see the main tropical storm force wind is not going to really affect Japan. As you can see, most of it stays out in the ocean. And in terms of Series 7W, let's go back a bit. You can see it's expecting to impact the Kyushu Island as probably as the next tropical cyclone. You can see the system is going to be not really that tropical anymore after just a short time. And then if we go a bit longer, further in time, you can see another system expected to develop in the Western Pacific, just off the coast of Philippines, and it could impact Taiwan and then into the southeastern coast of China, and possibly making a landfall there. So this is one to look out for. And then after that, another system could develop next to Taiwan and Philippines. This one could be stronger with tropical storm force wind and a pretty large system here, the European model expecting, and could possibly impact China's eastern coast like Shanghai. And you can see more far away another system developing into a tropical cyclone, possibly reaching typhoon status. As you can see, all the yellow spots in the center indicate category 1 hurricane force winds, which is typhoon force winds. So Western Pacific expecting to remain quite active in the next couple of weeks, so we can definitely continue to observe what's going to happen next. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you up on the other one very soon. Peace out.